The Nigerian government recently announced a ban on the use of mother tongue on education, sparking debate among stakeholders. While some argue that this will promote national unity and improve English language proficiency, others claim it undermines cultural heritage and hinders learning. Joining me is a professional certified coach, Ibas Alassan, who will share his insights on these contentious issues. Good evening, Mr. Lassan. Thank you for joining us on EBS tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. Now, what are your thoughts on the government's decision to ban mother tongue in education? Is this a right step in the right direction?
I think what has happened is the Nigerian problem. It's not about whether the policy is right or wrong. It's about the process that we follow in implementing policies in our dear country. In most cases, there's not enough consultation before these policies are announced and implemented. The initial one that was put in place had barely run for 3 years. How 3 years in the life of a child is not much to be able to come up with a conclusion as to whether this is working or not. So I think my personal view is that no policy is a good or bad policy. It depends on how you prepare, how you carry out the research before, the process that you follow before implementing such policies.
Well, according to the Nigerian government, they did say that the reason for banning the use of mother tongue language in schools is as a result of mass failure in English language and the inability of our students to express themselves with English language. Now, how will this policy impact students who struggle with English language proficiency?
Thanks. Let me tell you the story of a man who was born and raised in Irakusa, TBA, and he speaks Afema. And when he was in class 4, he moved to Kaba in Kwara State. Whilst he was in Iraku, he was taught in Afema language. When he got to Kaba, he was taught in Yoruba. And with all that, he was able to pass his exams and got his qualification. And that boy ended up being a banker, being a chartered accountant, and is sitting here today as a professional coach who coaches people across the world, from South Africa to the UK to America to South America. When I speak to people, they hardly believe that I'm from Nigeria. They keep asking me, where are you from? Because of the way I speak. So I'm an example of someone who was taught in mother tongue, right from primary school till I enter secondary school or high school.
So what do you think is now the problem for the Nigerian government to feel that it was as a result of this that we are no longer getting what we are supposed to, students are no longer getting what they're supposed to score in English language in WAEC, NECO, and other examination bodies? Do you think that the mother tongue that is spoken at home is enough to affect the students' performance in school? Because I remember that there are some schools who don't even use the mother tongue, even as the mother tongue was incorporated into the Nigerian syllabus. Not all schools adopted that. So what do you think is the problem that students are not really, that makes students not to do well in English language?
It's like saying that because students are not doing well in mathematics, we should find another replacement for mathematics. It doesn't work that way. If you implement a policy and it's not working, the ideal thing to do is to look at it again, review it, and see what is not working well, and try and implement it. Most of the population in Nigeria they live in the rural area. This thing of English being the means of communication, it's an elitist thing. We are the ones, we the elite, that believe that this is the right thing for the country. The guy in the village somewhere in Etakor does not speak English, and how do you expect this boy or girl to understand what is being taught? I think there is room for to look at the policy again. It's not that it's completely wrong, but both the mother tongue and English can be accommodated.
Well, Nigeria was colonized by the British. If that is the part they wanted to, we don't really get it why it is so now. Now, if Nigeria if this policy decide to escape through, I know there are people who are saying, bring it back, we want the mother tongue back into our classrooms. In case it does not succeed and the government is bet on, okay, it is so, we have removed it and it stands. What are the potential benefits of prioritizing English language instruction in Nigerian schools?
Of course, it's got its advantages. I mean, globally, the majority of the population in the world speak English, and also people across the country will be able to communicate with each other if there is a common language called English. And also, the resources, most of the books are written in English. And also, this is seen as social status. If you don't speak English, people don't believe that you are educated, but it's far from it.
Absolutely. I think I agree with you there, because I remember some years back when I heard pupils in some schools in Isako say, one or you understand, this is something, it's kind of funny, fun for the children. So if you now decide to take this out, I mean, I also think the children too will be disturbed. Now, how can educators balance this need for English proficiency with the importance of preserving local languages and cultures?
It's about doing our homework before we implement policies. I mean, I live in South Africa, and in South Africa, they have 11 languages, official languages, and schools are allowed to teach, in the language of their choice. However, there is a general guide on how that can happen, whereby your first language, you have to score a certain percentage. So we both can coexist. We can say here, okay, you must offer English and your mother tongue. In your mother tongue, you should score at least, this 30, 40, 50%, and English 50, 60%. I mean, when I was in school, French was compulsory. I mean, we did French. I did French in school. So why can't we do mother tongue in that, if you are using the same logic?
Exactly my point, because if we are made to take French as some other languages, like me, French was made compulsory for me when I was undergoing my course in mass communication. At some point you have to take French and you must pass it. If you don't pass, you are not moving to the next level. Now let's look at the role of technology. What role, whether you like it or not, technology is something that we cannot push away. In whatever we do, it's needed. Now, what role can technology play in supporting language learning and mitigating the impact of this policy?
That's a great question. With today's technology, you even need to know any language, if I can use that term.
You are correct.
The fact of the matter is that the English language is spoken everywhere, and the technology is there. There are so many apps applications now that you can use to learn English. But where am I going to find an app that will teach me Afema language, or Isoko language, or Edo language? Where am I going to find it? They are not there. So getting the kids to start with their mother tongue, position them. I mean, you can imagine if Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe were not taught in their mother tongue, how would they have been able to excel, in the way that they have done without that? I think there is room for both mother tongue and English, like I said before, and there are so many apps that can help you improve your English, but there's no app that will help you improve your mother tongue.
Abbas, this is an interesting conversation tonight. Some have argued that the mother tongue that is learned at home should be enough for a child to catch up. In order to, if you want to learn your mother's language, the one that is being spoken at home should be enough for any child to grab that language, as it were. Now let's come back to parents and the communities. In what way do you think they can contribute in order to to develop language and cultural preservation? What roles can parents play in case the government maintain a stance that this will no longer be acceptable in our modern schools?
It's a tough one. I mean, in today's world, you find the husband and the wife working. They go to the office to go and earn a living, or whatever profession they are in. And the children go to school. They are taught in English. They come back home. There's no one that can speak the mother tongue to them. That's a statement of fact. I don't know about you, but in my own house, we tried a lot to teach my kids mother tongue. It was so frustrating that you need the help of teachers also for you to be able to get these kids across the line. The fact that they come home, how much time do children spend with their parents at home? Let's even look at it from that perspective. Leaving the teaching of mother tongue to only the parent is not adequate to get them across board. And there are many examples. If we are going to be truthful to ourselves, I'm sure there are many families listening to this conversation that can relate to what I'm saying, especially the elite who go to work and spend all their time outside of the house. Who is going to teach this kid mother tongue?
It's really disturbing there, just like the points you raised. Now, what are the implications of this policy on Nigeria's cultural identity and national unity if this mother tongue is completely eroded from our system? What are the implications?
I mean, just like we spoke about the advantages of English, this also has its disadvantages. I mean, if you are going to speak to an Indian person, the accent is very heavy. Even the Englishman that speaks English, some of them, if you meet the core English person, you won't even understand what they're saying. So Chinese, are you going to ask Chinese to adopt English because English is the dominant languages in the world?
Never.
The advantages are enormous. I mean, impaired early cognitive development. This has been researched into even by UNESCO. Erosion of cultural identity, increased anxiety and reduction in reduced participation. I mean, if a child that does not understand English and you are teaching them in English, how are they supposed to cope? And of course, there will be the disconnect between home and school, and that will get the kids confused.
Abbas Alhassan, thank you for speaking with us on ABS tonight.